live more, so I'm giving the people what they want. So, well, I'm off today, so I figure like this: the more lives I do, the more work I'll be able to put in. So, because you guys got to understand when you do these videos, the time it take to edit and put together these videos is very time consuming, versus where you just can go live. You can find a thumbnail picture and just basically post it to your stream, and basically you can get going. So, you know, so like I said, I got time today. So, um, I wanted to talk about this John Morant situation, and we can have real conversation about the John Morant situation. And I understand if some people ain't gonna agree with me, and that's fine. But all I ask is, don't come on here and disrespect me, disrespect my platform, and disrespect the people on my platform. Anybody that disrespect the host, which is me, you will be instantly blocked. Anybody says something condescending, you will be instantly blocked. We're having a conversation. That's it. That's all. We can have adult conversation without people being disrespectful. Any of this, you out of your mind, or what the hell you talking about? I'm gonna remove your ass instantly. So I hope you understand the rules. And if you can't follow them, like I said before, you will be blocked instantly. And I will have my moderators block you instantly. Are we clear? Do you understand? All right, so let's go. All right, so it's looking like John Morant is going to be suspended for at least half the season, or maybe even more. They're talking about anywhere from 40 to possibly maybe 50 games. Me, myself, I think 40 games is a little, excessive. I think is a little extreme, because my stance is, once again, John Morant hasn't been arrested as of yet. If he started piling up arrests and all that kind of stuff, then I understand, because uh, Pac-Man Jones kept having incidents with law enforcement, and I don't think he should be suspended basically because of accusations. And that's always been my stance. And then also, I have an issue with basically Second Amendment rights. It's a whole bunch of like double standards that's going on with this John Morant thing. Now, is a lot of this stuff John Morant's own doing? Yeah, absolutely. But to a certain degree, what role did we as a whole, the black community, play in this? I think we played a crucial part in this, and how black men are perceived, and how black man is supposed to think of themselves. Because at the end of the day, you look at our community, we are the only people that promotes, basically being single parents, wanting to raise their children, and particularly black women, that's okay with raising children without the father. And you see how that's turned out. Now, I'm going to say this about T. Morant, John Morant's father. And I hate to say this about the brother. I just seen him doing a panel with Chris Paul's father and some other people. And he said something that kind of bothered me, which I thought was a little kind of disappointing to hear him say, well, he's the breadwinner, and, how do you get him to listen to you? And I was saying that to a certain degree, but T. Morant has to understand he's John Morant's father. And I think John Morant will listen to his father. This is a clear case of where you had a father in your life all your life. So I understand that he feels like, hey, what can I tell him? At the end of the day, this is what parenthood is all about. Just because your child is over the age of 21, you don't stop being a parent until they put you in the ground. And I think that's what people got to understand. Yes, my son is 24 years old, going on 25. But at the end of the day, I still have to tell him and talk to him, because I'm still his father. So I still have to advise him on certain things. So, like I said, this whole John Morant thing is just a complete mess. And do I blame John Morant? I blame him. I blame his parents, and I blame the NBA and Adam Silver, because like I said, Adam Silver is a hypocrite. And that's real talk. And so is the NBA as a whole. And this has been going on for a while. And the whole thing and the whole imagery of what is being black and the whole imagery of the black community. We are the only community that make it seem like if you go to school to better yourself and, seek higher education, you some kind of sellout. And that's always been the image. Now, don't get me wrong. School, college isn't for everybody, but that doesn't mean you can't learn and better yourself. But we've always put this notion out that, going to college and, higher learning is some kind of taboo in our community. And to a certain degree, the black community promote toxic behavior among black men and black women. This is real talk. You don't see no Asian women bragging about how they love raising their sons and daughters alone. And I have to admit, I'm proud to admit that black women and single parenthood have single-handedly fucked up the black community. And that's just real talk. It's the proof is in the pudding based off how these black men conduct themselves. For real. But T. Morant, just hearing him talk sometimes, you just be like, man, come on, bro. I'm looking at it from his perspective and John Morant's perspective. John Morant feel like, dang, man, I got all the pressure of like being the breadwinner of the house. I got to take care of everybody. And sometimes you want to do John Morant wanted. And I'm not sitting up here wagging my finger at him because I care about his money. A lot of these niggas out here that's sitting up here upset about what's going on with him is worried about his money. Like I said before, none of these goofy ass rappers can wag their finger at John Morant and try to tell him he need to better himself when these dudes rap about gang banging, promiscuous sex, bed hopping, basically deletion of black men and black women and other toxic and degenerate behavior. So how can you sit up there and try to give John Morant a life lesson when you don't even practice what you preach? I can understand if it was somebody like Will Smith or Chuck D that wanted to have a conversation with John Morant, but really somebody like, and I just gotta keep it a buck. A dude like Snoop Dogg or Lil Wayne or somebody like that, they can't tell John Morant nothing because you have to look at what they rap about, which is cool. They have a right to rap about what they rap about, but at the same time, is it productive? Is it for our community? Because you have to dive deep into this thing. How basically the industry slowly started to push out certain images where they wanted to basically promote certain images of how black men and black women were perceived versus others. And it goes all the way back to our music. Back in the, late 80s, early 90s, you had hip hop groups like Kid and Play and Public Enemy and those type of people, who would make quote unquote uplifting rap or just fun rap, just about chilling, having fun. But then you started to see the radio stations slowly but surely start to push that out the way, where basically they wanted to put in the rap about, basically extensive drug use, gang banging, basically shooting each other and all that kind of stuff. Now, keep in mind, if you a child, whether you like it or not, if you always hearing people talking about that and you always seeing these people being put on TV and promoting that kind of stuff, well, guess what? If you a black person and you seeing another black person behaving like that, you're going to think that's what acceptable. And this stuff was did on purpose. You see this all the time. You see this toxic behavior in our community. You see these goofy ass women talking about I'd rather be with a D boy than a square and all this stuff. It's always been this notion where if you was a black man that worked, you were considered weak, you were considered a sellout, you were considered an Uncle Tom or whatever you could think of, which to me that's like mind boggling. If you had a clean record, something was wrong with you. Because like I said before, that's why I was sitting up here laughing at some of these cornballs sitting up making videos trying to wag their finger at John Morant when you got some of these goofy niggas and bitches on here that sit up here and constantly make video after video how they been to prison and act like going to prison is the it thing, like going to prison is cool. No, going to college is cool if you get accepted into a college. And I dare somebody to tell me that I'm lying. I see a lot of these black content creators sitting up here talking about prison stories and all this stuff and sitting up celebrating that like it was cool. And then we sit up here and listen to that stuff. I've been in the streets. I done did everything you could think of. But I'm not going to constantly make videos about how I used to sell dope and cook cocaine and sit up here and do other type of things that I knew could have got me a life sentence in jail. But then you got black people that listen to that kind of stuff and they celebrate that kind of stuff. And then you look at these clowns, they got 100 and something thousand subscribers. And I want to say this is just real talk. And don't think for a second somebody jealous of you. I would never be jealous of no bitch or no nigga that sit up here and brag about how they constantly was breaking the law and going and being in and out of jail and having 5 kids by 5 different men. Or a dude that got like 12 kids by 11 different women. Like that's the it thing to do. And this is the type of thing that's promoted in our community. You don't see this stuff promoted in the Asian community. You don't see it to a certain degree promoted in the other communities, the Spanish community. It is lightweight, but at the same time, they also promote working hard and trying to start businesses and that kind of stuff. But we the only community that celebrate, hey man, I did 15 years, man. And I'm proud of it. I love going to jail. Yeah, we did. We created the John Morants. This is the end results. We were remember. Our own people back in the hip hop days, in the early 80s and the 90s, you had other rappers saying that Will Smith and Heavy D and guys like that were corny, and LL Cool J, who I give LL Cool J credit. LL Cool J opened up a lot of doors as far as rap go, him and Rakim. That's why they call Rakim the God MC, because Rakim could have made records about, and that's why him and Dr. Dre fell out, because Dr. Dre wanted him to make songs about how he killed black people and sell dope and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, we're toxic. See, nobody don't want to have no real conversations. See, nobody don't want to like put this out there, because see, I'm the one that'll put this out there. Because like I said, all you niggas that's sitting up here making videos, wagging your finger at John Morant, y'all need to shut the hell up, because y'all part of the problem yourself. And I'm going to say this, and this is just real talk. If anybody think I'm sneak dissing them, hey, so be it. So be it. Well, that was the whole plan. Remember, like I said, one of the worst things we ever did is when we let that white boy Eminem sit up there and disrespect Will Smith and disrespect Michael Jackson. I know 50 Cent always got Eminem's nuts in his mouth, but at the end of the day, this is why I don't pay attention to 50 Cent, because 50 Cent is just a coon, and that's all it come down to. I seen some little monologue or little excerpt from his digital book where he tried to like diss Tupac and saying that Tupac didn't do this compared to Eminem. First of all, and I'm gonna say this to you Eminem fans, and I hope you hear this. Tupac's worst 10 songs is better than Eminem's best 10 songs. Tupac been gone for like almost 25 years, if not 25 years, and he's still a legend. The impact he had, the impact that Tupac had, all before the age of 25. He died at the age of 25. And it just got to be said about 50 Cent. 50 Cent is just a nut hugger. Look, I understand that Eminem helped you out when record labels didn't want to deal with you and all that kind of stuff. But when you constantly sit up here and attack anybody that has a difference of opinion about Eminem, when they say, hey, Eminem ain't the greatest that ever lived, and you sit up here and come after black people, you just come across as just basically a sellout. Listen, I done said this on several occasions. Nobody said that Eminem couldn't rap. But at the end of the day, his rap isn't for everybody. And Eminem, whether people like it or not, whether you white boys and you coons like it or not, Eminem has made trash albums. He's made garbage music. His music didn't age, and that's fact. And if Eminem was black and made the type of records that he made, he wouldn't even have a career. And that's the problem that I have. But this whole thing with John Morant, this is what they started to push. You had the music industry saying, hey, guys like MC Hammer, they're corny, they're sellouts. Heavy D, them, they're not marketable. Their raps is clean and all this kind of stuff. Will Smith made clean rap. Like, they made it look like if you made records that was primarily clean, something was wrong with you. As long as the more F words you put, the more B's and holes that you would put in your records, the more it got promoted. And then it spilled over. So guess what? Like I said, if you constantly promoting that type of music, if you play that on the radio, well, guess what? That's what dudes like John Morant is going to grow up listening to. John Morant is 23 years old. So at the end of the day, he grew up listening to people like Yo Gotti and Migos and Young Thug and people like that. So he grew up listening to that type of music because that's basically what they promoted on the radio. That's why when people like, you listen to people like Redman versus what they got out now, you just be like, okay. That's why people like Shakur Stevenson, when people was saying, hey, Shakur, you from Newark, New Jersey, why not have Redman come out to, why don't you have Redman walk you to the ring rapping? And Shakur Steve was like, I only heard of Redman. He never listened to his music, and that's a shame. And that was did on purpose. So like I said, to a certain degree, we created John Morant. So we all got to take accountability on John Morant's behavior while we sit up here lecturing him and wagging our finger at him about don't do this, don't do that. Like I said before, we the only ones, like I said, that promote toxic behavior. And we the only ones that promote it. Yes, do other people participate in it that don't look like us? Absolutely. But we promote it. We got to look at ourselves sometimes. And all this now, don't get me wrong. The white man did plant the seeds. They did plant the seeds, but the problem was we continued to do the gardening. Growing, letting the trees grow, picking the bad fruit, and then eating it. So it's sort of like we created this toxic black garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Nobody wants to hear the truth anymore. So, like I said before, we have to look at each other and ask ourselves, what role did we play in the outcome of guys like John Morant? But his father, T. Morant, somebody need to talk to that brother. He just come across, unfortunately, as a little bit mentally weak. And I'm sorry, T. Morant. Sorry, forgive me. I'm just saying that's the interpretation I've seen just listening to him in interviews and stuff. Once again, you never stop being a parent until they put you into the ground. So I'm just saying, we need to like look at ourselves. Like dudes, like I would never, like I said, take advice. If I was John Morant, I would laugh at somebody like Lil Wayne. And then these other dudes sitting up here talking about, oh, well, John Morant don't know nothing about being a Crip, but then at the same time talking about that dude, Brick Baby, you could send this to him too. He a clown. And you could send this video to him too. And he a clown. One minute you saying you need to stop perpetrating, but then you saying, oh, well, you gonna have to pay the claim Crip. Pay you what? Like you got sole ownership of the Crip name. You get out of here. You part of the problem. Like I said, you part of the problem. And then you had Shannon Sharp sitting up there, you know, pointing out what this dude said. And that's why, to a certain degree, I just think Shannon Sharp is a whole clown too. Shannon Sharp is a clown. And then getting back to the NBA, the NBA, like I said, they need a rehaul. They need to really start looking at themselves about, okay, the NBA is gonna have to like really start like evaluating this stuff, like what they got going on. If they, like I said before, the NBA can't be wholesome and street at the same time. It's either one or the other. You sit up there and you say you worried about John Morant and, you know, him not being a role model for the kids. And I'm gonna say this once again, I ain't never looked at no damn athlete to raise my child. I've always thought that was weak. Like I said, you can't sit up there and pattern yourself after somebody that you don't know and that you don't talk to. And I think for them to try to put that pressure on somebody to try to be a role model for children that they don't know, at the end of the day, the NBA is just trying to sell a product. At the end of the day, it's John Morant's job just to play basketball and play good basketball and help his team win. I don't expect him to be wholesome. I don't expect none of these dudes to be wholesome. But like I said, all these people sitting up there calling him out his name, that's what I don't like. Guys like Charles Barkley calling him stupid and all that stuff. If anybody is stupid, it's Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is the biggest hypocrite, you know, white bitch loving coon I ever seen in my life. Keep in mind, this is the same dude that Charles Barkley himself made commercials talking about he's not a role model. See, somebody need to remind Charles Barkley of what he said. Keep in mind, Charles Barkley said himself, he did commercials saying, I'm not a role model. Charles Barkley had incident after incident outside of the NBA. Throwing people through windows, getting into bar fights and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Spitting on women. He said he hate white people. So like I said before, this is the dude, Charles Barkley. This is the same Charles Barkley. He's sitting up here saying that John Morant is stupid, but this is the same Charles Barkley who a few years ago said that he wanted to fight Draymond Green. And he said that live on the air. He should have been reprimanded for that. Then he's sitting up here threatening Skip Bayless' life. Even though I don't give a damn about Skip Bayless, I'm just calling the hypocrisy out. Charles Barkley can't tell me nothing. Charles Barkley needs to shed his let me be cool. Charles Barkley needs to just shut his ass up. And then Charles Barkley had that attack where he basically said that he glad his daughter married a white man. Charles Barkley, we seen your daughter. We glad the bitch married a white man too. So and you can send this to Charles Barkley too. Oh, shout out to my homeboy World Combat Sports. Subscribe to his channel. He in Atlanta. I'll come to Atlanta. I'll tell Charles Barkley right to his face. Since you sitting up here trying to disrespect black men, Charles Barkley got a history of attacking black men. He can't say nothing about Ja Morant. And that's just real talk. This is the same Charles Barkley when Drew Brees said that racist stuff. He defended Drew Brees. Charles Barkley loved to stick. You know what I'm saying? Charles Barkley loved to defend the other, but then he always got all this smoke for the brother. So this is what I'm saying. As far as Ja Morant go, like I said, we got to look at each other. For real. We got to look at each other. We've always made it uncool if we try to get higher education. Like I said before, one of the biggest mistakes that I made is when I didn't join the military. That was the biggest mistake I made. But, I got caught up in this stuff. Yeah, I didn't join the military, but I constantly kept getting arrested. But unlike some people, I don't sit up here and celebrate that stuff. I should have, like I said, that was one of the biggest mistakes I made. I was going to join the military. I was just going to do 4 years and then I was going to get out. But unfortunately, my mother, she got mad at my stepdad. She threatened to divorce him if he took me down I was going to join. The funny thing is I was either going to join the National Guard or I was going to join the Marines. And like I said before, I just told my stepdad, just forget it. So, well, guess what? I stayed in Oakland and kept catching case after case. So here's the thing. Let me tell you something. Unlike some people on here, like I said, I've been getting arrested, unfortunately, since I was 14 years old. I caught my first case in Berkeley. Got caught with a weapon. So, but I don't sit up there and make video after video. Oh, guess what, you guys? Guess what? I've been going to jail. I'm black. I love prison. This, like I said, this is the toxic behavior we have. So, like I said before, just getting back to Ja Morant, as I said before, as far as him showing guns online and on social media, the NBA is going to have to make it very clear what their policy is as far as gun ownership go, because at the end of the day, he's 23 years old. He is old enough to own a gun. He lives in Tennessee. Tennessee is a open carry state. So let me get this straight. He's not allowed to own a gun. He's not allowed to own a weapon. If that's the case, if that's what the NBA is saying, then that's an even bigger problem. He did not break any laws. He lives in Tennessee. Tennessee, look it up. Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, or open concealed states. Florida is about to become an open carry state, if I'm not mistaken. I think next month, Florida becomes an open carry state where basically you could carry a gun without a permit. In Texas, you can just carry a damn gun in your pocket. And the same in Tennessee. So what is he, once again, I need for the NBA to be more transparent. What is he technically in trouble for? Once again, they ran an investigation about the guns and they said he didn't do anything wrong. First of all, if that gun is registered to him and it's a legal firearm, he has the right to have it. I think the NBA is going to have to understand something. Everybody don't want to hire security. And if he wants to own a weapon, that's his Second Amendment right. You can't sit up there and say, well, what type of image you presenting for the kids holding a gun on social media. Okay, so what type of images you presenting to the kids and to the consumers if you sit up there and have music artists that talk about selling dope, gang banging, and, basically killing other black men and women in their music? You sit up here, you didn't have Cardi B perform at NBA events, but Cardi B is on video admitting to drugging, violating, and robbing men. Then you have Lizzo sitting up here going to Lakers games with her ass out, shaking her ass. And then when people get on her, she's sitting up here playing the victim, talking about why is everybody shaming me? Well, because at the end of the day, you at a public event with 19,000 people and you sitting up there shaking your ass and it's kids there. So yeah, people gonna have an issue with that. But then she trying to play victim. I don't feel sorry for Lizzo one bit. Oh, Virginia is an open carry state. Well, see, there you go. Just saying. But I'm saying John Morant is in Tennessee. So the NBA is going to have more clarity about what their policies is. You just can't sit up there and just say, hey, we don't like what John Morant is doing and we going to suspend him for 40, 50 games. And once again, he hasn't been arrested. Now, here's the problem that I have. And I hope people don't think that I'm throwing the dude under the bus because I love the brother. But here's the thing. We got people sitting up here angry that Tank Davis then got taken into custody. And by the way, Tank Davis has been arrested and has appeared before a court. The court of the United States Court of America. So I don't know if it's the Supreme Court of America, but the United States. I mean, so everybody is upset about what happened with Tank, but saying that Tank got railroaded, and keep in mind, Tank, did the stuff that he was accused of, and he pleaded out and said that Tank got a raw deal. But like I said, once again, John Morant ain't. If Tank, let's just say Tank was an NBA player. And all the incidents that happened with Tank, went before Adam Silver's desk. And Adam Silver said, okay, well, Javante, we got to sit you for like 50 games or whatever the case may be. I would understand that because Tank been arrested multiple times. He's had multiple incidents where John Morant hasn't. But that's all I'm saying about the NBA. And then another thing that's bothering me, it just seemed to me that there's a lot of people out here that's like celebrating what's going on with John Morant. First of all, I'm not happy about him whatsoever being suspended possibly half of the season. But like I said, John Morant, as far as him talking to rappers and all that kind of stuff, hell no. John Morant need to talk to some of these brothers that's like, for real, that like served in the military, guys like that. That's who he should talk to, brothers like that, brothers that's out there that like neurosurgeons. He should talk to Myron Rowe, the brother that Amanda Seales basically tried to lie on. And by the way, he's now like a surgeon and, he has 2 kids, I think, by a black woman. I seen his I seen the mother of his children, black woman. Good for him. Those are the type of people that I would like to see John Morant align himself with. Not no damn rapper, nobody like that. Because they can't do nothing for him. They can't help him because they're part of the problem. They part of the problem. And that's just real talk. We need to have these kind of conversations about how we present ourselves to everybody. Because this is the way that we're portrayed on TV and film and et cetera, and music. This is why people have the opinion of black people, and it's been did on purpose. And the sad part about it is a lot of these people that been putting out these images of how black people supposed to be look like us. So therefore, they're part of the problem. They're traitors, they're sellouts, they're coons, they're handkerchief heads, they're Aunt Sally's, they're every negative thing, they're bed wenches, every negative thing that you can think of, because they part of the problem. They sit up there and listen, real talk. Even though that movie even though that movie made me sick to my stomach watching that movie, but it had a lot of truth to it. Go watch that movie with Damon Wayans called Bamboozled. And that movie was about what's going on now. Sick movie too. Like Damon Wayans played one of the when I say Damon Wayans played one of the biggest coons ever. And and the thing was it was dead on purpose. But that movie was hard. That movie was hard to watch. That yeah, yeah, who Amanda Seals, she is just pure trash. I don't know if you remember. I said if Amanda Seal act to talk to me, I would walk out the room. I have nothing to say to her. She says stupid stuff. She says stupid stuff all the time. And that's real talk. As she wore out her welcome, she didn't even last like 6 months on that show to talk before they kicked her ass off the show. She just one of them people. She just burned bridges real quick. Yeah, that movie band. Yeah, Black to Black. I saw it a while ago. That movie, like, it was just like real disturbing because it was too much truth to it. And like I said, I was mad at Damon Wayans. And to be honest with you, Damon Wayans' career was ruined because of that movie too. You notice after he did that movie, he stopped working. He stopped getting mainstream movie roles. And you didn't really see him that much until he did the Lethal Weapon series. That movie had too much truth to it. Like I said, that movie Bamboozle was hard to watch, especially that scene with Michael Rappaport and then the dude was like tap dancing on that table. I was, I was like, so, I, I, I would tell you, you probably could find Bamboozle probably on Fire Stick, but I ask you, don't be angry when you watch that movie. Make sure you in a good mood. If you watch that movie Bamboozle, it was directed by Spike Lee and it starred Damon Wayans. So like I said before, before you watch that movie, make sure you in a good mood because if you not in a good mood, you might throw something at your TV or you might start cussing up a storm. Because like I said before, when I saw that movie, I was so damn mad watching that movie. I was just like Amanda Seal is she's damaged goods. Nobody wants her. She's damaged goods or she just damaged. She already said that she had trouble dating. Well, basically, Amanda Seals is one of them people. You like her until she opens her mouth. You know how some of you brothers that met that girl, she pretty, she got a nice body. Then as soon as you have the first phone conversation or as soon as she opened her mouth, she just say something in the first 3 minutes that instantly be like, okay, as soon as this conversation is over, as soon as I get off the phone with her, I'm gonna block her ass or I'm not gonna call her. And that's the type of person she is. And they have a lot of women like that. As soon as they open their mouth, you just instantly lose interest. And these will be the same women that'll sit up there and say, I don't know why nobody wants to talk to me. I'm pretty. I have this and all. Well, it's your mouth. It's you. It's you. And they'll be, oh, man can't handle me. They can't do this. They can't do that. You know, they're intimidated by. Shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody intimidated by shit. Shut your ass up. Ain't nobody intimidated by nothing. No, you toxic. You sound stupid. And this, a lot of dudes just don't have the guts to tell you. You are the damn problem. Like, for real. I like, ain't nobody going for that no more. Shut your ass up. For real. Oh, black men just can't handle me. No, or then this is my favorite one. You get these women on YouTube, and I think sometimes they just want to be roasted. They sitting up in a bonnet. They got 10 fingers with eight manicured nails, where basically two is missing, and they talk about, I need a man that can handle me. I need for a man to provide for me and my 3 kids. And I don't bring nothing to the table but me. Okay, well, check please. Check please. Check please. So like I said before, you can listen to that Steve Harvey talk all you want, because Steve Harvey is a damn fool. He a hypocrite. Like I said, he another nigga that can't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? Steve Harvey is a grade A super simp. Okay. And that's just the bottom line. He is not a strong black man. He isn't. Nah, I ain't splitting no check. Shit. I'm just gonna get up out of there. I'm just gonna get up out of there. And that's just real talk. Yeah, of course they do, LB. Of course they do. Like I said before, they screw it up, and then they screw it up a lot of times. Like I say, it goes back to toxic behavior. They screw it up a lot of times. They run the father off, and then at the end of the day, they want some other sap to pick up the slate. First of all, like I said, if you got 3 or 4 kids by 4 different men, you ain't in no position to call no kind of shots. You ain't in no position to make no kind of demands. Like I said, I'm doing you a favor by giving you my attention. Like I said before, I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, well, I made a mistake. Everybody allowed to make a mistake. So let me get this straight. You kept making the same mistake 4 times. So you kept letting random dudes skeet up in you 3 to 4 times, and now you got four baby daddies. But you mad at them. At the end of the day, did they force themselves on you? No. So at the end of the day, you have to start looking at yourself. But then this will be the same woman that'll sit up there and say your daddy ain't shit. Well, you ain't shit neither, because you decided to have 4 kids by 4 different men. And then you raise these young men to have vitriol for other black men. And that's why these black men can blow each other away without a second thought. But then you raise black men to be timid towards everybody else and submissive towards other men. Like I said. So once again, John Morant's upbringing and how he perceives life, or what he think is cool, to a certain degree, like I said, we have to look at each other. And like I said, I appreciate all you brothers understanding where I'm coming from, because I see I got some smart brothers. This is why I say it's very important that a father is part of his child's life. I want you guys, I'm going to leave you guys on this note. I'm going to come back with more. I want you guys to go to the Art of Dialogue's YouTube channel. He did an interview with Tupac's biological father. All I can say, that's a can't miss interview, because Tupac's biological father filled in some holes that was missing, and filled in some gaps that everybody was wondering, well, how did this happen? And he basically told some truths, and it was one of the best interviews I ever seen. And once again, it ties in to everything I just talked about in regards to Ja Morant. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. And once again, if you're gonna watch that movie Bamboozle, please make sure you in a good mood before you watch that movie. I'm so serious because that movie gonna have you. Yeah, the Art of Dialogue. Please watch that video with Please watch that video with Tupac's biological father. Man, it was eye opening. So appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm out.